Well, good evening and welcome to Kemmerer High School. I'm Adam Jackson. You're listening on mylocalradio.com. Tim Bettinson, my cameraman, once again tonight. And the Lady Rangers back in conference action in the 2A Southwest as they take on the Wind River Lady Cougars. Now, this is the second time that these two teams face. They played up at Wind River a couple of weeks ago. It was actually September 6th. And I tell you what, out of all the matches that I've called this year for Kemmerer, it was the best one. It was 4 sets, Kemmerer winning 3-1, but they were all close games. Lady Rangers won 25-17 in the first game, lost 21-25, and then they were able to win the last 2 sets by only 2 points, 25-23 and 27-25. So you can definitely expect the Lady Cougars to come in and look for some revenge tonight as these two teams look to move to 3-1. Both teams 2-1 respectively in conference. And we're going to have that game coming up for you in just about 15 minutes as JV game took a little bit too long, but it was a terrific match. So Kemmerer 0-1 this year on their home court. They lost to Lyman in straight sets for their first and only match inside this new gym. So we'll see if they can even up and get their first win at home this year as they warm up right in front of you. You see Blake Peterson warming up with the girls. But when we come back, we'll set the scene for you and get you ready. We've got a couple of interviews. Head coach of Wind River, Kristen Trujillo, coming up. And then, of course, your Lady Ranger head coach, Blake Peterson. Those 2 interviews coming up. And then we will have a match to play. It's Kemmerer taking on Wind River. And it's coming up in about 15 minutes as you're listening to Lady Ranger Volleyball on mylocalradio.com. And we welcome you back to Kemmerer High School. Just a quick scene set here, again, at the brand new facility at Kemmerer High School. A new gym this year and also a new football field. But you see the Lady Rangers warming up to your left. A pretty good crowd on hand to the opposite side of us as the Lady Rangers have done very good this year. Of course, the defending 2A state champions. So the crowd coming out. Now, the football game is tomorrow, so you don't really have anywhere to be. Come over and watch the volleyball team as they again try and pick up their win. Now, if we move over to the right, you've got the Lady Cougars warming up. They'll wear the purple uniforms with Lady Cougars written in white across their chests, and they actually played Lyman before they came here, so they lost that match in the conference. I'm sorry, they're 2-2 in the conference as they lost to Lyman, and now they will take on the Lady Rangers trying to bounce back. So when we come back from break, we're going to talk with Kristen Trujillo, the head coach of the Lady Cougars, as she talks about tonight's match and hoping that her team can bounce back. That's coming up next on the Lady Ranger pregame show. You're listening to Kemmerer Volleyball on mylocalradio.com. Really appreciate third-year head coach Kristen Trujillo joining me as actually second-year head coach. I apologize. She's in her third year total over at Wind River, as she, of course, was the JV head coach for 1 year before moving up. And there you see the Ranger mascot right across from us as he's made it out for tonight's game, hoping that the Lady Rangers can pick up their first win. When we come back, we're going to sit down and speak with Blake Peterson, fifth-year head coach here at Kemmerer, hoping to build on the victory at Big Piney on Tuesday. He'll talk about tonight's match. And then, of course, the Lady Rangers will play tomorrow as they host Pinedale in another conference match. So, interview coming up with Blake Peterson next, about 7 minutes away from first serve here at Kemmerer High School between the Lady Rangers and the Lady Cougars. You're listening to Kemmerer Volleyball on mylocalradio.com. Special thanks, as always, to the head coach of your Lady Rangers, Blake Peterson, as he's always very, very easy to get a hold of and able to join me for interviews before and after games and also early in the week as well. So thank you, Blake, for making it easy. So the Lady Rangers hoping that they can make it easy on themselves tonight and pick up a win, move to 3-1 in conference. They picked up a big conference win Tuesday night in Big Piney as they took 3 of 4 from the Lady Punchers and also did it on their homecoming week. Also, your Ranger football team will be looking to steal the thunder away from the Punchers tomorrow as they take on the Punchers in their homecoming game as well. That game at 1 o'clock. We'll have that for you, of course, here on mylocalradio.com. Pregame starting at 12:30. But we are just under 3 minutes away from finally starting this match. It's been a little bit late because JV went a little bit long, so instead of a 6 o'clock start, we'll start at about 6:23, 6:25-ish. The two teams hitting back and forth, of course. There are your Kemmerer Lady Rangers in the black uniforms with the red up and down the sides. Lady Rangers written in red in the back along with the numbering. To the right, you have the Lady Cougars there in the purple uniforms, white writing. They've got the white up and down the sides as the two teams just hit back and forth before we get set for match play. Going to be interesting to see after we had such a close match at Wind River if this one will be a close as well, and see if Wind River can best your Rangers. We'll see, though. I like the Rangers' chances tonight. They've been playing very well since that Star Valley invite, so thought that was a good learning experience for them. But we've got volleyball coming up for you in just over 90 seconds. Rangers and Cougars. It's coming up next on mylocalradio.com. And we welcome you back to Kemmerer High School. A nice job by a handful of the Ranger students singing the national anthem. We are now ready for the starting lineups. And I believe we'll start with the visitors, the Lady Cougars, and we will. First up, number 2, Callie Keene, junior for the Cougars, and Coach talked very highly of her. Christian Trujillo did. Next, you've got Darcy Maddock. Where's number 6? Their libero, Kara Longtime. She's in the white uniform. Lady Cougars in purple. Also, you've got Ambrielle Brown. Where's number 8 for Wind River? Number 12, Bailey Wilson. She has a lot of power behind her kills. She gave the Lady Rangers fits last time they played. And number 15, Jalen Fighting Bear. And rounding out the starting lineup, you've also got number 10 for the Lady Cougars. And then that rounds out the starting lineup for the Lady Cougars, excuse me. Now it's time for the Lady Rangers. And first up for the Lady Rangers is the libero and junior, Abby Brunsky. She's in the red uniform. You've got Michaela Krall. Where's number 4? Also a junior. She's an outside hitter for the Lady Rangers. Lexi Julian. She's a senior, 5'3". Usually the assistant role as she's the big center. Also very well known for her serves. Rexana Kelly, the left-hander. She also will get the start, 5'6" junior for your Lady Rangers. And you've got Hannah Nielsen, one of the tallest players on the team, 5'10", sophomore. She's going to continue to get better. And then Morgan McLaren, where's number 21 for the Lady Rangers. She also a junior, and it's fouled off by Bailey McGee. She's 5'8", also a junior. She's been playing very well down the stretch for your Lady Rangers. Well, we're about ready to get this second and final conference match going between these two teams. Again, they've faced each other twice, once in conference play, once up at the Bighorn Tourney, a week apart on Saturday, September 6th in the conference opener for both teams. The Lady Rangers bested the Lady Cougars in 4 sets, winning 3-1. A lot of close matches, though, and then they came back at the Bighorn Tourney, and the Lady Rangers won 25-15, 25-8. Of course, that match doesn't count towards the conference record. Both teams coming in. Lady Rangers 2-1. The Lady Cougars were 2-1. They traveled to Lyman before this match, lost that match, and are 2-2. So they're looking to finish even on the night. Lady Rangers trying to move to 2-0 on the week. They defeated Big Piney on Tuesday in Big Piney in 4 sets. They'll also play tomorrow at home against Pinedale. Lexi Julian ready to get it in play for the Lady Rangers and get this match started. Rangers on your left, Cougars on your right. Black for the Lady Rangers, purple for the Lady Cougars. And Julian runs up, and we are underway in this match. Handled in the back by Maddock. Now up in front, just pushed over by Maddock. Diving attempt to save it. Brunsky hits it over the Kemmerer bench, though, and out of bounds. And a good start for the away team. It's 1-0 in favor of the Lady Cougars. Serving first will be Callie Keene. Pretty experienced team here for the Lady Cougars. And Keene, a rocket serve. Brunsky handles it to Julian. Right in the middle, Rexana Kelly taps it over. It's kept alive, though, by Brown. Far side just tapped over by Maddock. Rangers will set it up. Julian, near side. Kelly goes to the back, and she hits it down just to the left of Maddock. And the Rangers tie the score. Serve now coming from Morgan McLaren to serve, wearing 21. She'll serve from left to right as she hits it over the net, but way just a little bit too far beyond the red line. The out-of-bounds line you see is that red line that goes on both sides. 2-1 in favor of Wind River. Serve going across from Bailey Wilson. Right in the middle, Brunsky sends it to the back. Wilson pops it up to Keene. Keene, now Maddock just gets it over. Julian comes over, sets up Krall. Far side, Krall hits it to the back. Handled, though, by Wilson. And then into the net, it's sent by Darcy Maddock. And we are tied at 2. Expect a lot of close games, because that's what we've seen in the first time these two played in conference. Good serve by McGee. Comes up the near side. Sent over by Fighting Bear. And it's out of bounds. A point for the Lady Rangers. And they have their first lead, 3-2. McGee again to serve. Where's number 24? Sends it to the far side. Picked up by the Lady Cougars. Sent over by Brown. Krall just sets it over. A good job, though, by Keene to get under it. Julian keeps alive, but her hand touched the net. The right hand there, just getting a piece of the net. So, oh no, they'll give the point to the Lady Rangers. So it looked like the Lady Cougars may have touched the net. Kemmerer doubling up the Lady Rangers, or the Lady Cougars early, 4-2. Nice set across by Callie Keene. She did that a couple of times up at Wind River. She's very sneaky about whether she sets up her teammate for the kill or just decides to push it over. And she does there, giving the Lady Cougars the side out. McLaren in the back. Julian, far side, Krall. Tries to go to the back row. Keene is there. Set up Fighting Bear. Sends it to the back. Brunski hits it, but it'll go backwards, out of bounds to the left of us. And we are tied at 4. 2 quick points for Wind River. Serve goes across from Brown. Handle in the back. Now our first look at Nielsen. It's kept alive, though, by Keene. Near side, and trying to tap it over was Darcy Maddock, but the set a little bit too far in towards the net. She couldn't quite get it over, and a point for the Lady Rangers. Cora Johnson checks in to replace Ambrielle Brown for the Lady Cougars. Roxana Kelly, her first opportunity to serve tonight. Lefty sends it across. It's handled by Wilson, and it just tapped over. Nice job by Michaela Krall as she just set it on over top of the net. Ranger lead is 2, 6-4. Neither team is led by more than 2 points early on in this first set. Kelly again to serve. It goes off the arms of Cora Johnson back, but Cougars do a nice job of getting it over. Brunski keeps it alive. McLaren going to have to really try and get it over. She did. She was way back out of bounds. And she got it over the net, but it was out of bounds toward the near side. Side out for Wind River. And the serve coming from their libero, Kara Longtime. Number 7. Sends it back near side to Krall. Set up by Pollard. Nielsen goes right down the middle back row, handled by Maddock. And Maddock will send it across. McLaren there. Tapped over by Pollen. Wilson gets it. Nielsen keeps it alive. Brunski just taps it up toward the front. And you had both Brunski and Nielsen coming back toward the middle of the floor, so they couldn't get to it up front. And that'll cause a Blake Peterson timeout. 2 straight points by the Lady Cougars. It's a good match, good set, good game so far. 6-6 the score. You're listening to Kemmerer Volleyball on mylocalradio.com. And we welcome you back to live action. Lady Rangers getting the point and retaking the lead 7-6. You're listening on mylocalradio.com. I'm Adam Jackson. Tim Bettinson, my cameraman, will also be out in Big Piney tomorrow as the Rangers take on the Punchers in their 4th football game of the year. Trying to pick up their first win. Brunski in the back to Pollard. Far side, she sets up McLaren. McLaren hits it near side to the back row, but it's scooped up by Wilson and then sent across by Fighting Bear. Brunski has it. Rangers will hit it across left to right. Blocked in front. Nielsen keeps it alive off the net. Brunski, and now Krall does a nice job getting it over. Now here's Longtime. And set over to the near side. Pollard there. Nielsen goes across off the arms of Callie Keene on the far side. A point for the Lady Rangers. And again, equaling their biggest lead total in this first game. 8-6 now the score in favor of Kemmerer. Crawl the jump serve across into the net as it falls. First service error on the side of your Lady Rangers. Makes it a 1-point game, 8-7. Fighting Bear to serve it across. Sends it to the back row. Brunski pops it up near side. Pollard far to McLaren. Hits it down, but Fighting Bear there. Just tapped over. Blocked in front though by McLaren. Still on the side of the Lady Cougars. They do get it over. Fighting Bear has it across. Pollard near side. Brunski, the freshman, sets it to the back row. Kept alive though. Now Brown pushes it backside to Brunski. McLaren down the far sideline, off the arms of Jalen Fighting Bear. And over toward the stands for a point. Kemmerer in front, 9-7. Fourth conference match of the year for the Lady Rangers, fifth for the Lady Cougars. Good service by Brunski on the near side. And just set over. Pollard keeps it alive, but it goes into the net as she had to dive forward and try and keep that ball from hitting the floor. Couldn't quite get enough leverage to pop it over the top of the net, so a point for the Lady Cougars. Ooh, good diving effort by McLaren. Brunski saves it. Near side Pollard, just tapped over by Brunski. And the Lady Cougars will set it up right to left. Brown with the hard hammer. Saved by Brunski though after the deflection. McLaren in the middle, sends far side, Maddock is there. Maddock will set it across, back row. Brunski comes over to her right. Pollard right in front, McLaren a little bit behind her. She still gets it over down the middle. The other side, Keene, and it's blocked in front. Kept alive, Brown gets it over. Lady Rangers will set it up. Far side, here's Crawl. Sends it to the back row, off the arms of the Lady Cougars, but they get it across. Terrific volley going on right now. McLaren partially deflected off the fingertips of Wilson and then off of Brown. And after all that, a point for your Lady Rangers. The score 10-8. Kemmerer in front. Lady Rangers and Lady Cougars battling hard. Lexi Julian sends it to the back row. Popped up by Johnson. Now set up for Brown. Hammering it to the far side. And a point for... Who are they giving it to? It's given to Lady Cougars, I believe. It was partially deflected on Brown's kill. Again, she's got a lot of power. That's number 12 right there in the front row. That's Bailey Wilson. 10-9 to score. Far side, McGee sends it to the back row, but it's just too far. 2 quick points, and we are tied at 10. Told you these games had potential to be very close, and so far, that's what they've been. Kaylee Keene sends it across. Julian pops it far up into the air. McGee gets it over. Keene sets up Wilson. Wilson taps it across, and the point goes to the Lady Cougars. One of the Rangers touching the net may have been Morgan McLaren. And it's now 11-10 in favor of Wind River. Julian, far side, McGee has it partially blocked in front. Lands in front of Maddock. She can't get to it. And we are tied at 11. Opening game of this conference match between these two teams. Morgan McLaren sends it near side, and it's mishandled by the Lady Cougars. Lady Rangers back in front, 12-11. Biggest lead for either team has been 2. Kemmerer has led most of the way. They lead by a point. McLaren sends it across, back row. Fighting Bear pops it in the air. Keene. Wilson taps it over. McLaren got her right arm on it, but the ball deadened after she came diving forward. Not much she could do. Really nice play by Bailey Wilson. Lady Cougars are very good at killing the ball over and then just kind of tapping it over the net, reading the Kemmerer defense. We're tied at 12. McGee sends it back row, popped way up and out of bounds on that far side. A dig attempt by Wilson, and then Keene trying to go track it down. It actually went through the rafters up here, but stayed alive. And Lady Rangers back in front, 13-12. Wilson fields it in the back, right in the middle, just popped over by Kit Vogel. Nielsen is there, far side. Crawl, partially deflected. Set up, though, by Keene. And Maddock gets it over. McLaren and Julian trying all she could to get it over the net. The ball was a little bit too far out in front of her, though. And we, once again, tied up. 13-13 opening game. Good service across as that was sent over by Brown. Nielsen, hard hit, but it was blocked into the net. And the Lady Rangers now find themselves trailing 14-13. Thanks for tuning in. You're listening on mylocalradio.com. Also watching, courtesy of our cameraman, Tim Bettinson. Far side crawl, blocked again. Roxana Kelly, a good shot over, though. Wilson on the deflection, gets it across. Now to Crawl. That's deflected, but a good job by Keene to get under it. Coming near side. Maddox sends it down the near sideline, but a good job by Brunsky. McLaren goes far wing. Up in front, Vogel finds the back near corner past the outstretched diving arms of Abby Brunsky, or junior libero in the back. Good placement by Kit Vogel. Her first kill tonight. And a 2-point lead for the Lady Cougars. Right up front, Nielsen. Sent across, and Brunsky in the back. Now Roxana Kelly. The Cougars will just send it over with Wilson. Julian up in front, Nielsen. Tries to go back row, but kept alive by Brown. Maddock will send it over. Oh, a good job by Brunsky to pop that up. And then sent across by the Lady Rangers. Now Cougars will set it up. Maddock once again, far side. It's saved by McLaren. Crawl with the kill effort and blocked up front. Kit Vogel there. And it's a 17-12 lead. Lady Rangers trailing. Ball goes to the back row, McLaren. Near side, Julian sets up the middle. Nielsen hammers it down, but kept up by Bailey Wilson. Maddox sends it to the back row. Calmly collecting it is McLaren. And now a hard hit by Crawl. Still alive, though, and Wilson gets it across. There's McLaren. Front of the net, Julian. Sets it up, Nielsen. And that goes off the arms of Keene. Back out of bounds behind the Lady Cougars. And a big sign out for Kemmerer as they stop the rally by Wind River and trail by 4. Here's Roxana Kelly to your left, the junior. Sets it over. Far side, Keene bumps it to Maddock. Kept alive by Kelly. Nielsen going back. And good communication. McLaren gets it across the net, just bumping it over. Keene sets it down. Nielsen, the long arms reaching back, keeps it alive. Now to McLaren. McLaren hits it into the net. And now 18-13. Holland Pollard will check in for your Lady Rangers. Out comes Roxana Kelly. Wind River looking strong so far on the road. Kemmerer has not won a match here yet. They're 0-1. They lost to Lyman. There's a good bump over by the Lady Rangers. Sprawling to try and save it was Kara Longtime, but she couldn't come up with it. And it's a 4-point lead. Rangers need a rally in this opening game. Good service over by Crawl. And Nielsen comes down with the hammer. Kept alive, though, by a long time. And out of bounds. Good effort by Ambrielle Brown. She was back behind the out-of-bounds line and sent it all the way across the net, but it came near sideline and missed the red line. Back-to-back point by the Lady Rangers, trailing by 3 now. Crawl sends back row off the arms of Wilson. Make it 3 straight points, a 2-point lead for the Lady Cougars, and second-year head coach Christian Trujillo wants a timeout. We'll take one as well. Great opening game at Kemmerer High School between these two conference rivals. Currently, Wind River leading 18-16. We'll come back for the finale of this first game here at Kemmerer High School. You're listening to Lady Ranger Volleyball on mylocalradio.com. Well, a three-point rally has brought the Lady Rangers back to within two, 18-16. You see the football team across from us as they're supporting the Kemmerer volleyball team. They'll be out in Big Piney tomorrow to take on the Punchers. That's a 1 o'clock start. Here's Michaela Krall to get us in after the timeout. Tapped over by Keene, blocked in front by McLaren. Nielsen hit it into the net, was waiting for Pollard or Brunski to pick it up, but they weren't able to react quick enough. Would have been a double hit on Nielsen, so she had to let it go. And a big side out for the Lady Cougars. 19-16. Pollard, far side, McLaren. Hammers it to the back row, popped up by Long Time. Set up by Keene, and Maddock bumps it over. Out of Brunski. Pollard right in the middle, and Nielsen gets it across, but Long Time there. Here's Wilson with a hard effort. Brunski there, though, pops it up. Krall gets it, and McLaren sends it down the far sideline, kept up by Keene. Keene will get it back. Hits it across. Out of Pollard in the middle. Far side for McLaren, and it's partially deflected and unable to be kept alive as Ambriel Brown trying to chase it down out of bounds behind the end line. Rangers back to within two. Here's the libero and junior Abby Brunski wearing number 2. She'll serve from left to right in the red uniform. Gets it across, far side to Keene. Set up for Wilson, partially blocked off the net. Pollard is there. Brunski to McLaren. Fighting Bear in the back to Keene, right in front. Wilson taps it over, but it's blocked. Kept alive, though, and just taps over, but blocked once again. Abby Brunski, the freshman, or Taylor Brunski, excuse me. As she is able to get the block, and the Rangers are within 1. There, the point is given to the Lady Cougars, a service error. And now 20-18 the score as we close in on this opening game. Serve coming from Darcy Maddock. Pollard on the near side, Mike to McLaren in the middle. Maddock keeps it alive on the far side to Keene. And just set across, popped up and over the net by Pollard. Wilson, again, Pollard is there near side. Brunski sets up McLaren, she taps it over. Handled though by Brown. Oh, and Pollard can't quite get there to keep the point alive for the Lady Rangers. And a 3-point game. 3-point lead for Wind River. And the purple uniforms going right to left. In the back, a line drive kind of set by Krall, but the Lady Rangers get it across. Abby Brunski sends it too far. And this one getting away from Kemmerer, so Blake Peterson will take a timeout. Lady Cougars trailing, or excuse me, the Lady Rangers trailing 22-18. We'll take a quick break and come back for the finale of this opening game as Kemmerer tries to come back. You're listening to Lady Ranger Volleyball on mylocalradio.com. Welcome back to Kemmerer High School. We're live on mylocalradio.com. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the Lady Rangers tonight as they try and improve to 3-1 in conference. So far, it's been the Lady Cougars who started hot. They lead 22-18 in the opening game. See if the Blake Peterson timeout stops the momentum. Pollard into the nets. She had to keep backing up to try and play that ball, and her back skidded the net. So now a 5-point lead. It's 23-18. Maddock gets it over. Back to Krall. Pollard comes to handle it. Brunski will just bat it to the far side. Maddock is there, near side Keene. And it's out of bounds. Ambriel Brown sends it long. And the Rangers get a much-needed side out. They've got to be pretty near flawless as we come down the stretch. They trail 23-19. One of their best servers in, though, in Lexi Julian. She replaces the freshman, Taylor Brunski. Julian hits it across near side, handled by the libero long time. Keene sets it up for Wilson, taps it over. Good sprawling effort by Kroll, but then McLaren and Rexana Kelly looked like they got confused on who was going to take it. And now it is set point, 24-19 for the Lady Cougars. Up front, Julian gets it to Kelly, blocked in front. Brunski will chase it over. Rangers have to get it across, they do. Set up to Keene. Near side, partially deflected. Julian comes over. Kelly goes far side. McGee. She puts it down in the middle, off the arm of Darcy Maddock. And the Rangers still alive, 24-20. Kemmerer having to win the next 4 points to have a chance in this opening game. Morgan McLaren to serve. They've got to be flawless. Maddock up front. And Wilson hammers it too far. No deflection. And the Rangers are within 3. 24-21. 2-point rally so far. Let's see if they can get 3 more going. McLaren again will serve from left to right. Junior spins the ball. She'll run up. Gets it over. Handled by Maddock. And now Wilson again has it blocked. And it drops on the side of the Lady Cougars. And a timeout called by the second-year head coach, Kristen Trujillo. Rangers coming back 3 straight points. They're within 2, 24-22. We'll be right back after this. You're listening to MyLocalRadio.com. The conclusion of this opening game coming up between the Lady Rangers and the Lady Cougars. It was 24-19. It's now 24-22 in favor of the visitors. Kemmerer trying to come back, though, after the timeout from Trujillo. McLaren will serve. Rangers got to win this point, obviously. To the back row. Kept alive by Keene. They go to Maddock, who hits it over. Rangers set up defensively. Picked up by Brunski. Julian. Brunski just sets it over. Coming up is Maddock. Back row to Keene. Right in front to set up Wilson. And that's down on the line on the far side. A perfect shot from one of the best hitters on that Wind River team, Bailey Wilson. And the opening game goes to the Lady Cougars. The visitors come in, and they have a 1-0 lead, 25-22. But again, another fantastic game between these two teams. We'll come back for the second game of this best-of-5 match. You got to win the first 3 games to win this match. Obviously, Rangers trying to improve to 3-1. Wind River trying to improve to 3-2. Both these teams want to win. We'll see who gets the second game when we come back. You're listening to Kemmerer Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com. Welcome back to Kemmerer High School. I'm Adam Jackson joining you on this Friday evening. MyLocalRadio.com. Tim Bettinson, my cameraman, as the Lady Rangers fall in the opening game 22-25. See if they can bounce back in game two. Callie Keene sends it over and we're underway. Brunski on that far side to Julian. Sups up in the middle. Morgan McLaren has it blocked and it comes right back at her. She wasn't quite ready for it. A good block by the Cougars. And they're in front once again, 1-0 to start game two. Ball goes across again to Brunski. Near side, McGee. Julian hits it back row. Maddock is there to Keene. On that opposite side, just pushed across by Brown. Julian will set up Kelly. Kind of bloops it to the back row to Maddock. Not a long time in the back. Brunski pops it up. Out of bounds, though. It's kept alive by Kroll and then sent over by McLaren. Nice job by the Lady Rangers. Keene in front. And what do we have? Looks like a net touch on Morgan McLaren. So quickly 2-0 in favor of Wind River. McLaren in the back to Julian. Good job by Brunski to get it over. Keene is there. Far side, Brown hits it over, and she doesn't hit it over. She hits it into the net. Side out for the Lady Rangers. They trail 2-1. Here comes McLaren. Sets it across, popped up in the straight air on the far side. Near side, Wilson. Back row to Brunski. Kroll into the net. Ooh, and it's blocked. Again, Wilson there, and the Rangers can't quite get to it. 3-1. Kemmerer trailing early. They lost the first game, 25-22. There's a service error on Wilson. Bailey, the junior, hits it into the net, and Kemmerer trailing 3-2. Here's Bailey McGee. McGee gets it across, backside to Wilson. Up in front. Now Maddock will send it down that far sideline. It's McGee. Now to Nielsen with the power, though kept alive in the back by Wilson. Popped across. Good diving effort by Julian. Kept in play by Keene. Sets up the middle for Fighting Bear, and McLaren looked like that ball surprised her. And a side out for Wind River as they're in front 4-2 in set two. Already leading 1-0. They lost to Lyman before they came here tonight, so they want to pick up a split. They're off to a good start. They haven't had success against Kemmerer this year. That's blocked, though, in front. And they are playing well. Blake Peterson's team went up to Wind River, won 3-1 in 4 close games. And the Lady Cougars so far responding. Christian Trujillo's team leading 5-2 and 1-0. Near side Kroll, partially blocked, diving effort by Keene on the near sideline, keeps it alive and just sent over by Wilson. Brunski is there. Now up in front, Kroll hammers it to the back and she just missed it. 6 or 7 inches away from that back red line. And the Lady Cougars have built a 4-point lead. McLaren deals with that serve to Julian, right in front. Nielsen hammers it to the near side. Wide open as she found the gap in the Lady Cougar defense. And the Lady Rangers within 3. Here's Rexana Kelly. She'll serve from right to left. Bloops it over to the back, and that's an ace. Kid Vogel decided to let it go. And Kelly drops it in right in front of the back line. Back-to-back points by the Lady Rangers, and they're within 2. 6-4 Wind River. Game 2. Wind River won the opening game 25-22. Wilson just gets it across the net to Brunski on that far side. Comes near side. Kroll partially deflected. Good diving effort, though, by Wilson to keep it alive. Maddock sends it over. Deflected by Nielsen and Brunski and out of bounds on the Rangers side. And a side out for Wind River. Their lead back to 3. Rexana Kelly checking out as Holland Pollard comes in. Got Nielsen and Brunski in the front. Set up to Brunski. Out of Pollard. back row. Nielsen gets it over. Wilson is there. Here's in the front, Fighting Bear. Kept alive, though, by the Rangers. Near side, here's Crawl, and she sends it too far. Trying to find that back line. And early on, it's the Wind River Lady Cougars doubling up your Lady Rangers 8-4. Pollard, near side. Brunski goes to the far side. Wilson is there. Just sent across, though, by Keene. Good diving efforts all over the floor. Brunski gets it across. Rangers will reset it. Pollard right in the middle. Nielsen taps it over near side. Keene's there. Back on the side of the Lady Rangers. In the middle is Pollard. Tapped across by the freshman Brunski. Now Keene, far side. Maddock sends it to the back row to Brunski. To Nielsen, off the arm, and then off the other arm. It first went off of Wilson. Its second went off of Cora Johnson. And the Lady Rangers get the side out, most importantly. They trail 8-5. Good hard serve, and an ace. Cora Johnson unable to handle the Michaela Crawl serve to the back line. 3 straight points for the Lady Rangers. They trail 8-6. Lost the opening game to Kemmerer 25-22. It's a big match. Rangers trying to move to 3-1 in conference. Wind River trying to improve to 3-2. Obviously, neither team wants to lose this 2A Southwest Conference game. Nice tap over by Nielsen. And 8-7. Rangers coming back, and a timeout called by Christian Trujillo. And we'll take one as well. 3 straight points for the Lady Rangers, and their deficit is just 1. The game deficit also 1 as Kemmerer trailing Wind River 1-0 and down 8-7 in game 2. We'll be back to Kemmerer High School right after this. You're listening to Lady Ranger Volleyball on mylocalradio.com. Back to Kemmerer High School. The Lady Cougars in front 9-7. In the middle of a point right now, McLaren off the net. Partially deflected, yes. And the point to the Lady Rangers as they trail 9-8. Kemmerer desperately needing to win this game here to tie up the game score 1-1. They trail 1-0. Brunski will serve it across right to left. Down on the near side is Fighting Bear, and she hits it into the net. And we are tied. For the first time since it was scoreless, the Lady Rangers have fought back to tie the score 9-9. They were down by as many as 4 points. See if they can take the lead. Brunski bloops it over to Fighting Bear near side to Keene. Sets it up for Maddock, who just sets it into the net. And there you go. The Lady Rangers do have the lead, their first lead of this second game. 10-9 the score. A good rally going for Kemmerer right now. They've scored 6 straight points. Ooh, good effort though on that far side. Wilson can't get there though after Ambrielle Brown kept it up. And it is 11-9 Lady Rangers. They were down 8-4. Since then though, they've been able to rattle off 7 points to just 1 for the Lady Cougars. Back row to Fighting Bear. Maddock taps it over. Brunski is there to Pollard. Brunski will just set it over. Back near side to Fighting Bear. Now to Keene. Wilson right in the middle, and she hammers it home on the near side Tell you what, Bailey Wilson, very impressive, the junior. She's going to be a huge weapon for the rest of the season and, of course, next year as well. And she pulls the Lady Cougars to within 1. Here's Darcy Maddock back to serve. Standing serve back to Brunski. On that far side, it's bumped up by Pollard. And McLaren tried to send it to the back, but she sent it beyond the red line. And for the second time in this set, we are tied at 11. Popped up in the air, Pollard. McGee tries to find the middle. It's mishandled. Still an opportunity for the Lady Cougars to get it across, and they do. Keene, nice job. Pollard sets up McLaren. Down is Maddock. Again, McLaren. Again, it's Maddock. Now to Wilson, partially deflected off of McLaren's hands and goes to the back row, far side. And a quick answer by the Lady Cougars. Kemmerer said, hey, we're going to take 7 straight points. The Cougars said, okay, we're going to take 3 straight points and retake the lead, 12-11 in this second game. McLaren straight up. Now in the middle, Kroll hammers it back. Maddock is there, though, set across by Keene. Running to get to his Brunski. Rangers in trouble, but they do get it across from McGee. They'll set up defensively. Brown hammers it back to Brunski. To Pollard, right in the middle. McLaren goes for that far sideline, out of bounds. Just missed. And a 2-point advantage for the Lady Cougars. Another close game. Second game of the night. Lady Cougars won the first game 25-22. Maddock sends it over to Pollard. Check that. That's Kroll. And Pollard actually sends it into the net. She's pointing at herself, saying, that's my bad. 14-11 the score, and Coach Peterson wants a timeout. So a big rally as we've seen 5 straight points scored by Wind River. They have a commanding 3-point lead. And I say commanding because that's a big lead for how close these 2 sets have been. We'll come back. Lady Rangers trailing 14-11 in set 2. You're listening to KEMMERER Volleyball on mylocalradio.com. Lady Rangers and Lady Cougars battling. A point for Kemmerer. They've come back with 2 straight points. Coach Peterson took the timeout, probably stressing how important it is to win this second game. They've come out on fire with 2 straight points. Julian serves it over. Trying to get a side out are the Lady Cougars. Good block up in front by McGee and McLaren. And that goes into the net. Tapped by Roxana Kelly as she blocks it over. And we're tied at 14. A lot of runs in this second game. 5 straight points for the Lady Cougars, answered by 3 straight current points by Kemmerer, and we're tied for the 3rd time. We're even at 14. Lady Rangers trying to take the lead. McGee hammers it back. Maddock hardly takes it. Now Brunski coming over to the back to Julian. And flying in is McLaren. She sends it over the back line. A missed opportunity for the Lady Rangers. And 15-14 the score, back in favor of the Lady Cougars. Already they won set 1, 25-22 against Kemmerer. And a good effort. Brunski gets it across on the dig attempt. Just tapped over. Kroll keeps it alive, goes cross court to Brown. Now in front to Keene. Sent up Wilson, partially deflected and down on the near side. It is so tough to get in front of the kill from Bailey Wilson. She's been dominant once again tonight. I think we could talk with Coach Trujillo and she would tell us she's one of their best killers, no doubt. As the Wind River Lady Cougars lead by 2, and that was sent across by McGee, but to the left of that out-of-bounds stick. You see those 2 sticks on the net, the red and white sticks that come over the top of the net. Those are the in and out-of-bounds line. And McGee sent it just to the left of that. That time she sends it into the net. And Kemmerer in trouble once again. 4-point deficit for the Lady Rangers. Here comes the serve from Keene. Rockets it to the back row. Brunski has it, goes off the side of her arm, out of bounds toward the sideline. And a 5-point lead for the Lady Cougars. Timeout called by Blake Peterson. We'll take one. Stay with us. You're listening to Kemmerer Ranger Volleyball on mylocalradio.com. Out of the Blake Peterson timeout, Rexana Kelly just mishit it out of bounds on that far side. A 6-point lead now for the Lady Cougars, closing in on a Game 2 victory, 20-14. Rangers get it across. Now to Keene, and partially deflected. Kept up, though, by Brown on the side of Wind River. And then pushed to the back, and a beautiful find. Bailey Wilson just doing it all for the Lady Cougars. As she sent it to the back corner over Brunski. It's now a 7-point lead, 21-14. Kept alive by Krall, just sent over by Julian. Cougars are there. Keene sends it over, but Krall comes up with it. Now to McLaren. Hammers it back to Keene. Set up in the middle. Wilson taps it over, partially deflected. And an 8-point lead. And Kemmerer in danger of going down 2-0. Trailing 22-14 in Game 2. Brunski sends it up. Wilson hammers it out of bounds, though, to the far side. She mishit that one. She is human. She does make mistakes every once in a while. She finally did there, and Kemmerer comes up with a side out. McLaren to serve right to left. Pops straight up in the air. Keene. Near side, Wilson went to hit it, but she just has to bump it across. It was too far out in front of her. Now Krall hammers it back. Maddock is there. Keene taps it over. Kept alive, though, by Julian. She dives out of the way. Krall has it blocked. Down on a knee is Brown to keep it up. And now Wilson. Good block, though, partially by Kemmerer. Kept alive, McLaren. Sent over. Keene goes down to get it. Now it's tapped across near side for McLaren. Lady Rangers set it up. Kelly just pushes it over. Maddock there in the middle. Again, Wilson pushes it to Julian, and she mistouches it. I believe that's a lift that they called. And Lady Cougars moving even closer to that second game win, 23-15. Kemmerer, for whatever reason, has struggled at home in their first 2 matches of the year as they find themselves behind. Krall hammers it to the back, right down in front of Wilson. 23-16, Kemmerer trailing. Lady Rangers have not won a game here at home. They got swept by Lyman 3-0 in their first and only game inside this beautiful gym. Sent over by Brown. McGee steps in front of McLaren to take it. Julian near side. Krall has it blocked down, but it stays on the side of the Lady Cougars. Kemmerer trying to rally. It's going to be tough for them to come back tonight and win if they go down 2-0. 23-17, Wind River in front. Wilson is there. Sent back, and Maddock will just hit it over. McGee up front to Nielsen, and bumped across by Kroll on the near side. Keene is there. In front, Vogel. Julian sets it. Now McLaren sets it. Hit over by Kroll. Now Keene. Far side to Brown. Blocked in front, though, by the Rangers. Kept alive by Vogel. And just pushed over near side. McLaren has it to Julian. Back near side. Kroll again. Partially deflected and out of bounds. And Coach Trujillo wants a timeout. Rangers with 3 straight points. They're within 5. 23-18. Wind River in front in set 2. You're listening to Lady Ranger Volleyball on mylocalradio.com. Lady Rangers trailing 23-20. They've cut the lead to 3 after they were down by 8. And they're making this one interesting. McGee to serve. Line drive serve. Wilson down on a knee to handle it. Keene, far side. Maddox sends it to the back row. McGee pops it straight up to Julian. Bump near side. McLaren goes back, and that's off the fingertips of Wilson. And another comeback opportunity for the Lady Rangers. 6 straight points. Rally. Wind River desperately in need of a side out. They lead 23-21 in game 2. Wilson again handles this one. Keene bumps it up. Now Maddock pushes it over to Julian on that far side. To Kelly. Kroll bumps it across. Now the Lady Cougars leading by 2. Up front to Vogel. Kept alive by Julian. Vogel again gets it down on that far side. A good diving effort by Julian, but a big side out, and now 3 opportunities for the Lady Cougars to take this second game and go up 2-0. In the back is Brunsky. Now to Julian. Nielsen hammers it into the net, blocked. And the point, the game, the set, all belong to the Lady Cougars as they are off to a terrific start. Kemmerer still yet to win a game here at home. 25-21 the score in this second one. 2-0 game lead for the Lady Cougars. We'll come back. Rangers going to have to win the next 3 sets to pull out this conference match. We'll be back after this. You're listening to Lady Ranger Volleyball on mylocalradio.com. Well, a tough start for your Lady Rangers as we come back. They find themselves down 2-0. They are 0-5 in games here for whatever reason on their home gym this year. A brand new facility, brand new gymnasium. And the Lady Rangers, they got to find a way to win. They've been close, but so far they haven't been able to best the Lady Cougars. Off to a good start here on the serve from Brunski. And KEMMERER in front 1-0. 25-22 to the Lady Cougars in game 1. 25-21 to Wind River in game 2. Lexi Julian serves it back. This one off the arms of Maddock. And this is KEMMERER's best start, no doubt. 2-0 lead. It's not a huge one, but they've started a little bit slow in their first 2 games. As they are hoping that they can get back on track. They got to win game 3 to force game 4, and of course they got to win game 4 to force that decisive game 5. Lexi Julian bouncing the ball before she jump serves it across to the back row. Fighting Bear puts it up, far side Keene. Keene sets up Wilson. She's been a handful, and she comes up with another kill, pushing it to the back near corner off of Brunski and then Julian. And a side out for the Lady Cougars. It's 2-1. KEMMERER leading. Keene sends it across. Brunski near side to Julian. She'll come even farther over. Morgan McLaren just gets it over as it tops the net. And Kelly just kind of swipes at it. That actually hits off the scores table. Watch out for your microphone down there. And we're tied at 2. Back-to-back points by the Lady Cougars. Fighting Bear sends it across. Julian right in the middle, sets up far side. McGee hammers it home. And the point given to the Lady Rangers off the deflection. That's something that the Lady Rangers need more of, is they need more from Bailey McGee. When she plays well, they play well. She has not had a ton of kills tonight. The Rangers back in front 3-2. McLaren jumps it over. Good effort. Kept alive, though, by Maddock. Near side and then tapped across by Rexana Kelly. And then off the arms on the kill of Morgan McLaren. Point going to the Lady Cougars. They lead 2-0 against your Lady Rangers in the second home conference match of the year for KEMMERER. McLaren pops it up on that far side. Kroll comes swooping in. And a net touch on the side of the Lady Cougars. Jalen Fighting Bear into the net. And the Rangers back in front by a point, 4-3. Expect nothing less than another close point. Keene taps it across. Up to the net. Julian. Now Nielsen sends it up on that far side. Keene keeps it alive in front for Fighting Bear. Now just pushed across. Kroll goes back row off the fingertips of Keene over the head of Wilson and out of bounds and down. Lady Rangers by 2. 5-3, KEMMERER in front. McGee gets a nice touch off the net, kept alive though by Brown in the back row. Wilson just sets it to the back where McGee stands. Julian on the near side in the middle for Nielsen, and she hits it right into the net. Ranger lead down to 1, 5-4. Game 3 between these two teams. Lady Cougars winning the first 2. There's a point that goes the Ranger way as it's into the net. KEMMERER behind 6-4. KEMMERER, ahead 6-4. Roxana Kelly to serve. Kelly bloops it over to the far side. Handled. Now right in front, Fighting Bear. Taps it over just to the right of Kroll and Nielsen. Terrific sight by the Lady Cougars. They are very good at just kind of pushing the ball over. And they'll get you either with the hammer or they'll just lightly tap it over depending on how your defense is set up. Another service there, though, for the Cougars. This time, Kara Longtime sends it into the net, and the Lady Rangers back in front by 2, 7-5. Michaela Kroll in the back. She'll serve it across from right to left to right, Kroll jumps it over near side. Kept up by Wilson. Cross court to Keene. Into the net, tapped up and down. McLaren just sent it right in the middle of the floor on that Ranger logo. And KEMMERER with their biggest lead in this third set, 8-5. Gotta win this one, trailing 2-0. Kroll gets a great bounce. It hangs on the net for a second and then drops on the side of the Lady Cougars. Biggest lead of the night for the Lady Rangers. They're in front 9-5. Keep it right here. You'll be listening to the Rangers when we come back as they try and win this third game to force Game 4. You're listening to Kemmerer Volleyball on mylocalradio.com. And we welcome you back to Kemmerer High School. Lady Rangers in front 9-6 in Game 3, a game they must win. You're listening on mylocalradio.com. Also watching, I'm Adam Jackson. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Pushed across by Kroll, kept in the air by Keene. Wilson bumps it over near side to Maddock. Kelly diving, though, to keep it alive. Brunski, far side, McLaren, off the net. And a point for the Lady Cougars. It looked like a miss hit on McLaren, and Blake Peterson out to get the explanation from the head official. Not sure what the call was, but the point goes to the Lady Cougars. They're trying to sweep Kemmerer after falling in Wood River 3-1. Lady Rangers would love a comeback. Boy, wouldn't that be something if they came back and won in 5 sets. They got a long way to go, though. Wilson sets up Maddock on this near side. Popped up in the air by Kelly. Behind her, Brunski handles it. Now McLaren runs up and just pushes it over. Near side, Maddock keeps it in. No, she doesn't keep it in bounds. Point for the Lady Rangers. She tried to bump it back across inbounds over the net, but she was outside of that stick on the end of the net. And the Rangers back in front 10-7. 3-point lead. Service across by Brunski. Handled by Longtime, smacked over, but off the net. Yes, the point given to the Lady Cougars. A net touch on Kemmerer. And a 2-point lead. Lady Rangers got to have this game. Kroll keeps it alive. Julian tries to chase it down here in front of the scores table, but it goes and touches the floor. And Wind River back within a point. They trail 9-10, and the point goes to Kemmerer as the serve into the net. Darcy Maddox sending it into the net. It's 11-9. Julian hits it hard to the back row. There is Maddox. Keene right in the middle, sets up Wilson, who kills it up, blocked though, and then comes back. And Wilson mishandles it. Rangers back in front by 3. Christian Trujillo in her second season trying to pick up her first win against Kemmerer this year. Rangers not going down without a fight though. They trail 2-0 but lead this third game 12-9. Just bumped across. Brunski backing up. She handles it. Now to McGee on that far side, and she sends it too far. Bailey McGee unable to give Kemmerer that 4-point lead. 12-10 the score. Served across by Keene. Right in the middle, Kelly is set up. Fighting Bear gets it on the near side. Now to Keene. Right in front, Wilson hits it off the arms on that far side of Kroll as it goes into the stands on the opposite side. And again, a quick answer by the Lady Cougars. They've trailed most of this set, but they've kept it very close. They trail now by 1, 12-11. Kemmerer losing in the opening game 25-22, then the second game 25-21. Rangers must win this game to force the Game 4. Rexana Kelly sends it back. It was deflected. It does go out of bounds. But on the deflection, that's the point for the Lady Rangers. And their lead back to 2. 13-11, a big side out for Kemmerer. Now we'll see if they can build on that 2-point lead. Here's Morgan McLaren. Jump serve across, sent up by Maddock on that far side. Brought back in play by Keene and then sent over by Wilson. Now to Julian, near side, setting up the lefty Kelly. Maddock is there. Keene comes flying up. Brown hammers it far side. McLaren there. Over to Krall. Back row. Popped straight up in the air. Can they get there? Yes, but into the crowd it goes. Keene came flying in after Maddock. I'll tell you what, great efforts on both sides tonight. Kemmerer playing very well in this decisive third game. They're in front by 3, 14-11. McLaren sends it up. And now tapped over. Kelly puts it in the air. Far side, Krall hammers it back. And the point goes to the Lady Rangers as it was deflected. And Kemmerer has built their lead right back up, 15-11. And the Lady Rangers in front by 4. McLaren sends it across. And now it's put up in the air and set down on that far side by Wilson. As she comes up with the side out, it's 15-12. Kemmerer still leading, but their lead has been reduced to 3. So here we go. Wilson will serve. The junior has been all over the place tonight. Bailey Wilson slaps it across, picked up by McLaren. Julian comes running over Krall. Partially deflected, and that goes down. Kemmerer lead back to 4. 2-0 lead for the Lady Cougars. McGee back to serve. You've got Julian and McLaren in the back. Kelly, Krall, and Nielsen in the front from right to left. Rangers going left to right in those black uniforms, sent over by McGee. Down is Wilson. In front, Keene. Far side, Brown. Sends it cross court and out of bounds. Good eye by Julian, and the Rangers rebuilding that lead. This has tied the largest lead of this game by 5, 17-12. And make it 6 off the fingertips of Wilson. And this one getting away from the Lady Cougars. Trujillo applauding her team, trying to get them back in it. They trail by 6, 18-12 late in game 3. Right in front, Vogel has it blocked down by Nielsen. And Kemmerer off to a great rally. They're in front, their largest lead of 7. Timeout called by Christian Trujillo. We'll take a quick break and come back. 19-12, Kemmerer leading in game 3. They trail 2-0 at home in this conference match. You're listening to Kemmerer Volleyball on mylocalradio.com. Kemmerer lead is 8. Important sign out for the Lady Cougars as they block it at the net. 12, make it 13 points for the Lady Cougars. They trail by 7. And a must-win game for Kemmerer. Trying to win their first game on their home court this year. They got swept by Lyman, and that serve will help their chances as Cora Johnson didn't look like she got all of it as it went into the net. Kemmerer 4 points away. Trailing are the Lady Cougars 21-13. Kelly, a standing serve with the left hand, sends it back row to Johnson. Now in front, Vogel taps it down. Kelly is there. Julian puts it up in the air and sent across by Brunski. Right in front, Vogel, another opportunity. This time she finds the back near corner. Wearing number 1, Kit Vogel, the junior, gets the point. And Kemmerer's lead is 7. Here's Kira Longtime, the libero. Sends it back row, Brunski there. Julian comes flying in to save it. And Brunski will just bump it across. There is Wilson. Keene, near side, and trying to tap it over the net is Maddox. She swings and misses, though. And Kemmerer in front by 8. A must-win game for the Lady Rangers, and so far they have delivered. Trailing 2-0. Here's Krall. Jumps it over to the back. Popped up by Wilson. There's Johnson. Far side Keene just calmly and collectively sends it over. Now Nielsen. Partially deflected, kept alive by Keene. Vogel bumps it over. Nielsen is there, near side Julian. She'll go cross court to McLaren, who has it partially blocked by Vogel, but still gets it down on that far side, and the Rangers are within 2 points of winning their first game of the night. And trying to pull within a game of the Lady Cougar lead. Krall to serve. Jumps it over back to Longtime. Just set over by Keene. Rangers were there. McLaren. Longtime pops it up. Now the near side, Maddox has it partially deflected. Brunski comes sprawling in to Julian. Now Nielsen taps it over. Keene there. Maddox, and she mishit that. And another point for the Lady Rangers. And go ahead and make it set point. Kemmerer trying to pick up their first set victory. 24-14. Over by Krall. And mishandled off of Longtime's arms. Out of bounds on the far side. There is the first win of the year by the Kemmerer Rangers on their home floor. And they do it in convincing fashion. 25-14. They now trail 2-1. Obviously having to win the next 2 games to win this match. We'll see if they can do it. Kemmerer trying to move to 3-1 in conference. Wind River trying to improve to 3-2. We'll see who takes the decisive 4th game when we come back. You're listening to Lady Ranger Volleyball on mylocalradio.com. All right, here we go as we welcome you back to Kemmerer High School. Adam Jackson with you on mylocalradio.com. Thanks for stopping in tonight. Tim Bettinson, my man on the camera. He's done a terrific job for me, as always. Lady Rangers trail 2-1. We are underway in Game 4. Ball up right in the middle of the floor, pushed across by Wilson. Now the Lady Rangers will set it up. McGee hammers it to the back. Maddox pops it up in the air. Keene, far side, Brown sends it, and it's just off the arm of Brunski. It would have been close, She was trying to decide, I think, if she wanted to hit it or let it go, and she just got a piece of it. And the Lady Cougars off to a 1-0 lead. Number 2, Keene, is back to serve it over. Lines it over to the near side to Crawl. Now McGee, partially deflected, kept up by Maddock. And into the net as Brown went down, trying to get it across, but she couldn't quite get it over the net, and the Rangers quickly get the side out. Kemmerer wins this game, will play a decisive game to 15. But they got a long way to go. Got to play strong like they did in that third game. That, unfortunately, is not what you want on the serve. McLaren mishitting that into the net. Wind River back in front, 2-1. Kemmerer a decisive and very convincing win, 25-14 in Game 3 after 2 first close games. And Crawl sends that into the net. Lady Cougars in front, 3-1. Wilson over to McLaren. Julian keeps it from going into the net. McGee sends it over, just pushed up and over by Crawl. Now back on the side of the Lady Rangers. Julian, far side, Rexana Kelly. Back off the arm of Brown and out of bounds. Check that, that was Bailey Wilson. Side out for Kemmerer. Substitution as Nielsen comes in. Lady Rangers libero Abby Brunsky checking out. And Bailey McGee will serve, number 24, all the way to the right of your screen. Ball goes across. Popped up in the air. Keene on that far side, fighting Bear. It looked like it was partially deflected. Rangers still have it, though, to Crawl. Way up in the air, off the rafters, going back is Maddock. Wow, good concentration, and then across by Wilson. Good plays like that tonight have given Wind River the lead so far, and the two Lady Cougars colliding. It was tapped up in the air by Ambrielle Brown. Darcy Maddock was trying to shuffle discreetly by her, but she couldn't quite get to it. And there's a friendly roll for the Kemmerer Rangers over the net, as McGee gets the ace. And Lady Rangers in front, 4-3. That time, though, McGee sending it into the net. Brunsky quickly checking in for defensive purposes. Tied at 4. Brown over to Brunsky. Julian will set it on that far side. Kelly goes cross court, and it's out of bounds. Good eye by the Cougars as they let it go. And they have retaken the lead 5-4. They win this game, they win this match. And that bump too far in front of Julian into the net. McLaren looking to Coach Peterson to get some advice. She nods her head. 6-4, Kemmerer trailing. Brown lofts it back once again. McLaren this time gets it to Julian. Tapped over by Crawl, and she got it beyond the blockers and dropped it in the near side. Side out for the Lady Rangers. And now it's the junior lefty, Rexana Kelly, on the far side to serve it across right to left. It's popped up in the air. Fighting Bear goes back row. And it's out of bounds. Rangers get the point, just sent too far beyond the line. And we are tied at 6. Kelly to serve. Lofts it near side, pops up in the air. And set to the back line. Brunsky is there. Now to Julian, right in front, Nielsen, and she mishits it into the net. Nielsen, a lot of power when she gets it over the net, just mistimed that ball. Kemmerer back behind, 7-6. Long time to serve back there, and Kelly and Brunsky look like some miscommunication who was going to take it. And they're discussing that right now. Lady Rangers down by 2, 8-6. Long time. Back row, this one right to Brunsky in the middle. Far side, set up by Julian. Nielsen hammers it back. Ooh, she just missed. Looked like it was good from here, but obviously a better view from the far line judge over there, and it's a 3-point lead for the Lady Cougars. Side out needed for Kemmerer. Hammered by Crawl, and then into the net by Maddock. There is the side out. A mistake by the Lady Cougars. Wind River in front by 2 against Kemmerer. Crawl back to serve. Runs up and hits it off the arm of Johnson in the back. That powerful line drive serve causes mistakes sometimes from Michaela Crawl, and she gets the ace there to pull the Rangers to within 1. You're listening and watching on mylocalradio.com. We'll have all the Ranger football, volleyball, and basketball action this season. That serve sent too long. Now, lead is 2 for Wind River. Kemmerer Lady Rangers going to have another home match tomorrow against Pinedale. We'll be up in Big Piney, though, to call the football game as the Rangers look to get their first win of the season. McLaren hammers it down and mishandled by Fighting Bear. And it's 10-9, Kemmerer in front. Brunski sends it across, long time, pops it up in the air. Ooh, it hit off the netting up there. Good job by the Cougars still to get it across. Now McLaren, and she sends it into the net. And 11-9 the score. A big side out for the Lady Cougars. Ambrielle Brown coming in. She'll replace Cora Johnson. And Maddock checks out. And the serve coming from the Lady Cougars from Lily Fear. Ball up and off the arms of Fair. And a point for the Lady Cougars. And quickly Maddock will come back in. A must-win game for Kemmerer. Down 2-1. Lost the opening game 22-25. Second game they lost 21-25. Came back and a big win 25-14 in game 3. They trail by 1, 11-10. Ball goes across from Julian. Down is Fighting Bear, near side. Keene blocked in front, kept alive by Wilson, and then just pushed across by Maddock. Defense will reset for Wind River. McGee just bumps it over back row. Maddock will bump it up. Now Keene, middle for Wilson. She pushes it over to the back to Brunski. On that far side, the lefty Kelly. Fighting Bear down to grab it. And now blooped over, kept alive by Brunski. McLaren trying to get a piece of it. She did, but she couldn't pop it up in the air far enough for the Rangers to get it over. And still that 2-point lead that's been held most of this game by the Lady Cougars. Kemmerer's been able to answer, though, after they go down 2. We'll see if they can here. Near side, they can't. It's out of bounds. McGee trying to push it over on the near sideline. Lady Rangers trail by 3. Julian right in the middle. Kelly has it blocked, kept alive, but touching the net is Wilson. And a side out for Kemmerer. Morgan McLaren back to serve. Kemmerer trailing 2-1. Obviously best of 5. Got to win that third game, and that goes too far. McLaren sending it over the back line. Lady Cougars back in front by 3. This is the biggest lead of this game by either team. Kemmerer's had a 2-point lead. They trail by 3. Crawl hammers it over, partially blocked, kept alive, but it looked like a net touch on the side of the Cougars. Kemmerer needing to get a rally and try and retake the lead. Fifth-year head man Blake Peterson trying to get his troops to that decisive 5th game. Wilson handles the serve. Now sent over by Maddock. Set up near side. Crawl has it blocked, but out of bounds. And the Lady Rangers are within 1. 5th game would be the first to 15, and it'd be a terrific comeback if Kemmerer could get there. They lost the opening 2 games, came back and won the 3rd game. Wilson handles it in the back. Now Maddock sends it over. Here's Julian in the middle, near side. They go back to Crawl, and a net touch once again on the Lady Cougars, and we're tied at 14. 14 all, game 4. Lady Rangers have to have it. McGee sends it to the back. Wilson pops up, to Keene. She'll just push it over. Kept alive by Nielsen. Near side crawl. Roxana Kelly gets it over. Maddock coming over to her right to play to Keene. Keene over. Lady Rangers will deal with it. Julian out of bounds on that far side. Gets it to Kelly. Wilson pops it up though. And that's blocked in front. Kept alive though by Vogel. Resetting it is the Lady Cougars. Brown will just bump it over. She didn't have any other option. Julian comes in. And the point into the net as it goes to the Lady Cougars. Crawl trying to come over. And she went for the kill opportunity. Lead back to the Lady Cougars by 1. Ball across. McLaren lunges in and comes up with it. Now to Julian far side. Nielsen, she hits it into the net. Back-to-back errors by Kemmerer after they went on a 3-point streak to tie. Now Wind River back in front late in this fourth game, 16-14. Good job by McLaren to adjust. Roxana Kelly, far side to Keene. In front, Vogel has it blocked. Kept alive though by Maddock. Keene back over to Maddock. Kept up though by Julian. Nice job to Kelly. Partially deflected on the side of Wind River. And Brown just sends it over. Out of McLaren, Julian near side. Crawl will try and hammer it back. Brown is there. Maddock into the net. Point, Lady Rangers. Kemmerer trailing by just 1. These matches have been fantastic. Kemmerer won 3 games to 1 in Wind River. They trailed 2 games to 1 at home. And into the net, Kelly unhappy with herself. Rangers have been right on the cusp of taking the lead, but you have to give the Lady Cougars credit. They're holding on by 2. Julian mishandles that set opportunity. And it's an 18-15 lead for the Lady Cougars. Playing their second match of the night. They lost at Lyman before they traveled here to Kemmerer. Julian sets up near side. Crawl hammers it back off of Bailey Wilson. She had no opportunity to come up with that hard hit from Michaela Crawl. And the Lady Rangers are back to within 2. Crawl now to serve. Hits it over into the back. Popped up by Cora Johnson to Keene in the middle. Over to Bailey Wilson. Crawl sets it up to Julian. Now to Nielsen. Is it down? Yes, it is on the near side. Back corner, it's good. The power from Hannah Nielsen shown right there. And the Lady Rangers back to within 1. Kemmerer trailing 2 games to 1, trailing by 1 point in this fourth game. Ball goes across, pops up in the air. Keene. Calling it is Bailey Wilson. She'll set it across. Brunsky there. Now to Julian, near side. McLaren has an opportunity. Off the arm of Cora Johnson. She couldn't decide if she wanted to leave it or hit it. And she ended up touching it. And we are tied at 18. Kemmerer wins, we'll play a 5th game. If the Lady Cougars win, they win the match. Timeout called by Christian Trujillo. We'll come back for the finale of this 4th game. You're listening to Lady Ranger Volleyball on mylocalradio.com. Kemmerer has taken their first lead. McLaren getting the kill. It's 19-18 Lady Rangers in game 4. Wilson and the Cougars trying to answer. Maddox sends it across back row. Crawl is there. Sets it across Opposite side of Julian, now Nielsen. Ooh, good last effort. Oh, but it goes out of bounds. Cora Johnson, that time, again, a little bit late on deciding if she wanted to play it or if one of her teammates was going to, and the Rangers in front by 2. Closing moments of this fourth game. Popped straight up in the air. Now to Fighting Bear to the back. Brunski gets underneath of it, pops it up. Julian runs, and that by McLaren. She mishits it and sends it back. And a 1-point game. This one coming right down to the end. Kroll coming out, the freshman. Taylor Brunski coming in. Brunski, Rexana Kelly, and Taylor Brunski, Abby Brunski in the back. Julian comes over near side. McLaren has it blocked down by Wilson. A solo block for Bailey Wilson. Kills, blocks, pushover. She does it all. And we're tied at 20. Rangers have to win this game to force that decisive game 5. Ooh, Brunski played that. Looked like it might have been out. Rangers still have it. Nielsen sends it back near side, Fighting Bear. Keene right in front. Wilson will try again. Just sets it over, and it's down. Good diving effort from the freshman Taylor Brunski. 3 straight points, though, for the Lady Cougars. And they have taken the lead right back in game 4. Back in fourth action here at Kemmerer High School. 21 for Wind River, 20 for Kemmerer. The finale of game 4 coming up next. You're listening on mylocalradio.com. Back in action, game 4. Lady Rangers trailing 21-20, needing a side out, and they just missed deep. Nielsen almost had the back line, but instead a 2-point lead for the Lady Cougars. 3 points away from winning the match. Kemmerer needing the side out. We'll see if they get it. Near side, McLaren sends it over. Keene kept it alive, sends it back across to the Rangers side. Taps over. Maddock, a good job sprawling to keep it up. Wilson will send it back to Brunski. Now to Julian. McLaren, an opportunity off the arm of Long Time, and a huge side out for the Lady Rangers. 22-21. Wind River, the visitors, trying to win and split the season series. Kemmerer went up to Wind River, won 3 games to 1. Rangers trailed 2 games to 1 and trying to force a game 5. Ball goes across and tapped up but blocked. And Wilson tries to keep it up. She can't. And the Rangers have tied the score. First one at 25. You got to win by 2. May see some extra points in this fourth game. 22-22. Taylor Brunski to serve. Check that. That's Abby Brunski. Near side, Fighting Bear to Keene. Maddock backside. Kelly sprawls it up. McLaren gets it down on the back row. Morgan McLaren has given the Rangers a late lead in game 4. 22 for the Lady Cougars. 23 for your Lady Rangers. They're 2 points away from forcing the game 5. Brunski gets it over. Long Time comes up. It's popped over the net and down. Good effort by Lexi Julian as she sprawled down in front of the net to try and get it back up. But she was unable to. And we're tied at 23. This is a huge point. Winner will have an opportunity to have a set point. Julian, near side, McGee. It's kept up by Maddock. Wilson will send it to the back, and she finds the back corner on the near side. And a set point coming up for the Lady Cougars when we come back. Timeout for Blake Peterson. We'll take one as well. Rangers down to their last opportunity, needing to win this set to force that decisive game 5. We'll come back for the finish after this. You're listening to Lady Ranger Volleyball on mylocalradio.com.
that makes a difference, because we are where you are.
Kemmerer staying alive. They got to win this point to stay in the match. 24-23 Lady Cougars. Kelly sets it, just sent over smartly by Julian. She didn't really have any other options. Now to Wilson, sends it to the back. Brunski keeps it alive. Here's McLaren. McLaren has it blocked. It's down on the side of the Lady Cougars. And we're going to play extra points in Game 4. The crowd standing on that far side. The football team out in support of your Lady Cougars, or your Lady Rangers tonight. 24-24. See if Kemmerer can get this point and have a set point opportunity. Julian sends it back, fighting Bear there to Keene. Right in front, Wilson hammers it to the back, and it's down. A big point for the Lady Cougars. And another match point opportunity for the visitors from Wind River. Trying to win their third conference match. Kemmerer trying to avoid losing their second. They trail 2-1 and 25-24 in this fourth game. Brunski in the back to Julian, far side. Coming up is Rexana Kelly to hit it over. Keene sets it up right in front. Wilson taps it over, and it's down. Brunski couldn't quite get to it, and that's your final 26-24 as the Lady Cougars come up with a 4-game victory, 3-1 against the home squad. Your Kemmerer Rangers, they dropped their second game at home as the two teams high-five in the middle of the net. Rangers fall to 2-2 in conference. Wind River improving to 3-2. We'll come back, wrap up this tough loss for the Lady Rangers. Coming up on the postgame show, we'll talk with Blake Peterson eventually, break down what's going on in Kemmerer athletics later this weekend, and also, of course, break down this tough match loss. Kemmerer falls in 4 games, 3-1 at home to the Lady Cougars. You're listening to Lady Ranger Volleyball. We'll be back with the postgame show right after this on mylocalradio.com. And we welcome you back to Kemmerer High School inside the gymnasium here as the Lady Rangers fall in a tough one. Their second match at home and their second disappointing match at home. They fall to Lyman 3-0 in their first match of the year. This time they fall to the Lady Cougars, a team that they had beaten 3-1 on the road in Wind River. But I told you that was a very close match. The Lady Rangers winning 2 of those games on the road by 2 points. And I know a lot of the Wind River fans and the team thought that they had an opportunity to win that match. They didn't, but they come back here tonight. They spoil home match for the Lady Rangers as Kemmerer falls 25-22, 25-21, 14-25, and 26-24. A hard-fought battle all night long. Lady Rangers will have an opportunity to bounce back against Pinedale tomorrow. That'll be here at 2 o'clock as they need to try and bounce back and pick up their third conference win. They moved to 2-2 on the year. Wind River losing earlier tonight at Lyman. And they pick up the win here, though, and improve to 3-2. We'll have Blake Peterson coming up for you later as the fifth-year head coach will come up and chat about this tough loss. And we'll look forward to tomorrow as Pinedale comes into Kemmerer High School. But we'll come back, give you the Ranger Roundup as we'll tell you what's going on in the athletic side of Kemmerer High School this weekend. Golf in action, swimming in action, football in action, and your Lady Rangers will be back in action tomorrow. So stay with me. I'll update you on what's going on, and then we'll have Blake Peterson before we wrap up this evening. The final, though, Kemmerer loses 3-1, 22-25, 21-25, 25-14, and 24-26 to the Wind River Lady Cougars. Stay with us. You're listening to the Lady Ranger postgame show on mylocalradio.com. Welcome back to Kemmerer High School. Adam Jackson now joining me, the head coach for your Lady Rangers, Blake Peterson. And Coach, give me your thoughts on the tough loss tonight against Wind River.
Well, first of all, props to them. You know, they've definitely improved since the last time we saw them. They're a different team when they came in. It was a hard-fought battle. I don't know that we matched their intensity coming in. You know, they definitely came with some fire and some intensity, and we didn't quite match that, and we found ourselves behind in a hole there pretty quick, and it was just catch up from there, and we couldn't quite catch up to them.
Did you think that it was more of Wind River playing well, or did your girls just not play up to their capability tonight?
I think it was a combination of both. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to take anything away from Wind River. That's the best I've seen them play in a long time, to be honest with you. They played really well, but our girls, they didn't play bad, but they didn't play with the edge and the fire that we know we need to have when we play.
Yeah, we saw a close couple of matches up in Wind River when you guys won, and then we saw the same thing today. Now, you guys did take the third set 25-14. That was the biggest win of the night. What happened in that third set to give your girls the win?
Boy, it's a good question. if I knew that, I would bottle it and sell it. I think we played okay. We came out with a little bit of a fire there, but honestly, I think Wind River, they kind of relaxed a little bit and we got up on them, and then they tried to come back, and I didn't see our play necessarily improve a whole lot. We still weren't communicating like we needed to. Our defense in general, our front row, we're not reading the block or reading the hitters like we need to. We're not finding the hitters soon enough. And then our back row, we're just without the front row rolling like it should. Our back row kind of struggled a little bit as well.
It seemed like to me that Wind River did a nice job of mixing it up when they were going to go for the hard kills and when they were just going to kind of tap it over the net. What do you think is a way that your team can improve defensively when that happens? Another money-making question for you?
Yeah, no, I mean, we know what we need to do. We need to read them better, do the ball setter, read the ball, read the setter, read the ball, read the hitter, like we teach them every day in practice. And we need to read. I mean, that's something that we talked about just post-game just a minute ago. I mean, when a team gets the same points on you over and over and over, at some point you got to learn from that and start to adjust to that. And we were talking about it in huddles, we talked about it between games, but out on the court we didn't adjust like we needed to.
All right, Coach. Well, a tough-fought battle. I know it's not the result you wanted, but I thought the girls did battle really hard tonight. What do you want to see tomorrow in order for the Lady Rangers to come back and get a win against Pinedale here at home?
Well, we're going to play this fun game called volleyball, so I hope they have a short memory and they come back ready to play tomorrow.
All right, Coach. Short and sweet. Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck tomorrow.
All right, thank you, Adam.
All right, that's your head coach, Blake Peterson. A tough loss, a really tough-fought match. Again, I can't speak right now. The Lady Rangers losing to Wind River in 3-1, and they'll be back in action tomorrow against Pinedale. Well, I'll come back, wrap up this match. I'll tell you what's going on tomorrow for Ranger Athletics. Golf, swimming, volleyball will play, and football. I'll have that for you tomorrow. So that's all coming up next as we round up and go around what's going on at the high school of Kemmerer. So stay with us as we come back next on the Ranger postgame show. The Lady Rangers fall 3-1 to the Lady Cougars. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to the Kemmerer Lady Ranger postgame show on mylocalradio.com. Welcome back to Kemmerer High School for one final time tonight. The Lady Rangers fall 3-1 against the Wind River Lady Cougars. I'm Adam Jacksa. You're listening and watching live on mylocalradio.com. That wraps up the broadcast tonight. Just want to give you a roundup of what's going on in Ranger Athletics this weekend. We'll start with the volleyball team. They're going to be home and in action once again tomorrow as they will compete against Pinedale. That's a team that they haven't seen yet this year, and they're trying to pick up their first home win. 0-2 on their brand new floor. They lost in 3 sets to Lyman a couple of weeks ago, and they, of course, just lost tonight to Wind River. As you heard Blake Peterson say, a much improved team Wind River was as they came out and got the victory. So they'll be home tomorrow, 2 o'clock. I won't be able to grab that game for you because I will be in Big Piney. The football game tomorrow trying to spoil Big Piney's homecoming as they kick off at 1 o'clock. I'll have the pregame for you at 12:30 over there. It's a brand new field at Big Piney, very similar to Kemmerer this year. Brand new field. This is their first couple of games on it. Turf field, and it's going to be certainly a terrific atmosphere as the Rangers try and pick up their first victory. They're 0-3 to start the year, but we'll see if Sean Rogers' team can go out there and get that first win. That's at 1 o'clock. I'll be on the air with it at 12:30 right here on mylocalradio.com. Don't want to short the swim or golf team. Swimming tomorrow is at Pinedale. That'll start at 11 a.m. for Greg Gray's team. We'll see if they can compete well out there. As for your golf team, they're rounding up states this week over at Warland. They started on Thursday. They'll go through tomorrow. Zem Hopkins sending 5 players to compete at the states for golf in Warlington. So we'll figure out how they do And we'll talk with them next week. Hopefully they are doing well up there in Warlington. Well, that's going to wrap up this broadcast. The Lady Rangers fall in 4 sets, 3-1. The proceeding has been a wholly owned production of Old West Media Incorporated and Cook Brothers Broadcasting, no portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the aforementioned rights holders. Our final tonight, 3-1 in favor of the Lady Cougars. They win 22-25, 21-25. Kemmerer won the third game 25-14, and then the final 24-26. Lady Rangers will be back in action tomorrow as they take on Pinedale. We'll have a story up for you online as I talk. I'll talk with Coach Peterson tomorrow after the game to get the recap. Again, we won't have it for you because we'll have the football game. So that's the broadcast I'll hope you join me for tomorrow. About a 2.5-hour drive up to Big Piney to take on the Punchers and try and spoil their homecoming game. The first time this year that the Rangers won't play under the lights, on a Friday night, as that game will start at 1 o'clock tomorrow in the afternoon. Special thanks to Val Cook and everybody at Cook Brothers Broadcasting. Also thanks to Cody Nickett, the athletic director here at Kemmerer High School, for all that he does. And, of course, special thanks to my cameraman tonight, Tim Bettinson. He will be with me tomorrow in Big Piney as we will be out again for the football game, Big Piney against Kemmerer. That's going to wrap it up for me, though. Until next time, I'm Adam Jackson saying goodbye and good night from Kemmerer High School.